I'm just the man for the role.
When you do stand-up comedy, I recommend that you do not invite your friends. I know what you think when you look at me. You think, this guy really likes Star Wars. And that's not true. Star Trek is way better. Star Wars is not science fiction. Star Wars is The Lord of the Rings with hyperdrive. Star Wars is Harry Potter with a cloaking device instead of an invisibility cloak. Your friend who really likes Star Trek knows what a Klingon is. Your friend who really likes Star Wars knows that the name of the third stormtrooper in the 5th column on the 2nd Death Star is named Fizbic Dark Lantern. And there are 7 novels about Fizbic Dark Lantern that are no longer canon now that Disney bought the franchise and ruined the IP. And you will have to hear about this for as long as you are friends with that guy. Another thing I don't like about Star Wars, Luke Skywalker. Nobody likes Luke Skywalker. I watched this series. I wish I had dark side powers so I could choke this guy. He's the one who's whiny. His sister is a politician who grew up as a princess. She's up there fighting battles against stormtroopers on an actual spaceship, conducting difficult diplomacy missions. He's the hard-working blue-collar farm boy who still manages to be the whiny baby. He's making little noises, whooshing around with his toy spaceship. Luke Skywalker is the only hero of a major franchise whose whole thing is to go be the sidekick of all of the other characters in the franchise. He starts out, he's Uncle Owen's sidekick, fixing the moisture evaporators, going to Tosche Station. Then he is Obi-Wan's sidekick, complaining about not wanting to leave his family. Then he's Han Solo's sidekick. By the time he finally gets a sidekick, it is a small blue vacuum cleaner with a variety of USB attachments. And they immediately go visit a senile frog with a speech impediment so that he can be a sidekick again. Luke Skywalker is a white dude with an absent father who was raised by his aunt and uncle. I cannot think of a more trailer park way to be. Luke once passionately kissed his sister on the mouth. Luke really likes his guns and his car, but he's the biggest fan of his impractical laser sword, which he made himself. That's the only thing more trailer park than buying it at a gas station. And as a reminder, the gas station is where Luke and his friends like to hang out. Don't like Star Wars. Which bony Halloween mascot weighs the most? That's right, that's a skeleton. A skeleton. Which Halloween gourd is used to push fluid through a tube? That's right, that's a pumpkin. A pumpkin. Which traditionally female Halloween magic user? Which traditionally female Halloween? I'm the only candidate for governor who's from Montana. Anybody else from Montana? I got 2 woos. I asked who's from Montana. Okay, I believe half of you. This is still posting. We got this city in Montana that is named Great Falls. Anybody?
2
words in that name. They're both lies. Like, sure, it's not very great, but it's also not very false. What they do have is a large, prominent butte, which the city that is currently named that does not. They should trade. Great Falls can be Butte, and Butte can be post-apocalyptic St. Patrick's Day. Do you think people from Butte ever look in the mirror and they're like, at least we're not Billings? It's the way that Target gets up every morning and says, at least I'm not Walmart. Walmart gets up and says, at least I'm not a Kmart. Kmart gets up and says, yeah, but I'm not a laundromat. Laundromats are sketchy, man. There's always like a handwritten note threatening you with violence if you leave their clothes there overnight. Right next to a poster for a concert that's coming up next Tuesday in like 1993. Every surface in a laundromat is designed to be wiped down, but they're still always sticky. It could be the world's nicest laundromat, and there's still always that one folding plastic table. Under that table is a leprechaun who will stab you and then sell you meth. The only thing that is sketchier than a laundromat is the laundry room in my house. The day that I moved in there, I spilled a combination of orange juice, detergent, and cat litter behind the dryer. I don't even own a cat. Whatever fungal, bacterial, viral wonderment is fermenting makes the Chinese lab where they made the coronavirus look like a suburban kindergarten in Oklahoma. That is the room where I go to make underwear clean enough to touch my balls. First 3 years I was doing stand-up comedy, I would come out there and I would say, I'm from Montana, anyone else? And there'd always be one really drunk woo in the back. Debbie, you are not from Montana. You are from Stockton, and the only thing you have in common with Montana is the meth. Stockton is like the Billings of California. I've never been to either one, but they're both terrible. Did you guys do the tooth fairy when you were growing up? That's because you're stupid. You should have done the fingernail fairy. That is a recurring revenue situation. Babies are stupid, huh? Babies are just tiny immigrants from the future. I'm sure right now they just want like a handout and free healthcare. But you know later on they're going to be stealing jobs from hardworking millennials. We should build a really tiny wall. I do everything that I can to avoid producing babies. I practice personality-based contraception. You guys are out here wasting money on condoms and pills. I'm just this way. I am like if the Walmart t-shirt section had a baby with a MacBook Pro. The only thing that's cool about me is that I can make robots. My girlfriend, though, she is a machine. That's right, I built her out of electric motors. Some of those motors came from China, so technically she's Asian. And she is super hot. Someday I'm going to fix that cooling issue. We never talk about the fish during the Boston Tea Party. There was an entire generation that got all hopped up and addicted to caffeine. And they never got their fix again. I think that the best kind of catangles is rectangles. I like that the buildings are them. When the brickmen were building the buildings, they had a bunch of little rectangles that they stacked up. And they made these places where people can live and they can work. It's great. I leave my apartment rectangle. I walk on a sidewalk made out of rectangles. I go to my work tangle. Ride the elevator? Rectangle. I push the rectangular buttons on the rectangular keyboard to make the lights on the rectangular screen change. When I do a good job, my boss gives me rectangles. I take the rectangles to the store, I exchange them for various goods and services. The store people give me back change. I do not like change. Change is circle money. So I do what any of you would do. I take the circle money outside and I give it to the homeless people. They're comfortable with it and they use it willingly in their commercial transactions. Because that's what homelessness is. Rectangle deficiency. Babies are stupid, huh? Saw this baby the other day. Baby was wearing yellow Converse All-Star sneakers. My first thought was, man, that is a cool baby. My second thought was, wait a second, that baby's not cool. That baby didn't pick out those sneakers. Somebody bought those sneakers. Somebody decorated that baby. Baby is not a lifestyle that requires decoration. Baby is a lifestyle that requires transportation and storage. What you do is you get the baby, and you get the plastic bag. You put the baby in the plastic bag, you carry the baby around. Baby poops, hose off the baby, get a new plastic bag. You can get all these plastic bags from the plastic bag full of plastic bags that you've been keeping under your sink ever since you were a baby. I am college educated. When I went to college, they required that I take a PE class in order to graduate. I took Introduction to Walking. Introduction to Walking is the only thing where you have to do the thing that the class is in order to get to the class. I got a B. I invited some cheese to a Shakespeare villain-themed costume party. It went as Iago. Which European nation is the most famous for male cattle? That's Bulgaria. Bulgaria.
Are you writing these down?
Which European nation is on the front of your house? That's right, that's Portugal. Portugal. Which of your leg joints is necessary? That's a need. Need. Which upper lip facial hair is mandatory? That's right, that's a mustache. A mustache. Which condiment is permitted? That's mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. Which Montana water well contractor kills himself for life insurance money? That's right, that's my dad. My dad. My mom was a hoarder, like on the TV show Hoarders, right? You've seen this, right? And what this means is that occasionally we would get Child Protective Services called on us, right? And the Child Protective Services people would let you know before they came over. So Mom had this brilliant plan where she would just go to Barnes & Noble, find some dude and be like, hey, can we live with you? And it worked. We would go to this dude's house, we'd be staying at this dude's house, and Child Protective Services would come over to this dude's house, and they'd talk to us, we'd be like, yep, we live here, in this normal house, not in a trailer park full of dogs and garbage. No, this is where we live. And they would leave, and they'd be like, yep, it's all good. And then we would go back to our trailer full of dogs and garbage. And Mom would just constantly rescue these dogs. It's like she was playing Pokemon at the animal shelter. But she was in no way qualified to take care of these animals. And so it ended up being like a combination of a Charles Dickens novel and a Canine Thunderdome. Just terrible. It's like witness protection in reverse. Because like in witness protection, if you tell the truth about who you are and where you actually came from, then Tommy Two Fingers finds you and shoots you in the back of the head. And if I had told the CPS worker what was going on, I would have moved to a different house and gone to high school not smelling like pee. Oh, was that sad for you? To hear with your ears about the life that I lived with my life. Y'all have that friend who, like, whatever's going on in your life, they've got a worse version of that thing? I'm that friend. You know, they're like, oh no, my parents are getting divorced. I'm like, oh, look who has parents. Must really be hard that they're going to tell you I love you with their still alive mouths while living in different buildings. You guys know anybody who peaked in high school? You make fun of them for it, right? You shouldn't make fun of them for it. High school is the perfect time to have peaked. Trust me, I know. I peaked now. Telling jokes in a basement in Bozeman. This is way less fun than being the guy who was actually cool instead of pretending to be cool while we all drank beers around a campfire. Or hung out in the parking lot of the town pub while the 18-year-olds went inside and played the casino games. Being cool is very important. Not as good at this. Y'all ever been eating French fries and you reach in and it's a curly fry?
Parties, that's right.
Yeah, that's a big day, right? That happens to me all the time. I'll reach in and it's a curly fry, and I'll reach in and it's another curly fry. Because I ordered curly fries. Because I'm not a moron. You were just at the place that had the better version of the thing. Why did you order the worst version of the thing? And then pretend to be happy that there was one of the better version. People tell me, no, it's about the surprise. It's about the surprise. There are plenty of places that you do not want to be surprised by a curly fry. Parking lot curly fries, very bad. I'm like, that would have been pretty great, except that somebody dumped it and spilled motor oil on it. I have been dating a woman, though, recently. Or rather, I've been seeing a woman recently. I once saw a woman. It was at the airport. And her luggage was this rectangle. But at the bottom it had the wheels. And I think that's very convenient. I was like, my dad's luggage never had wheels. When did they start putting the wheels on luggage? And it turns out that the first commercially successful wheeled luggage product was released in the year 1970. You know what that means? It means everybody born before the year 1970. Your parents, your grandparents, this table, was a huge moron. The next time you talk to your grandma, I want you to be like, hey, Grandma, you enjoying that fixed income retirement? Because you could have invented the easiest invention ever. Would have been the greatest thing since sliced bread. Which is a really weird greatest thing, isn't it? I just picture everybody before the slicing of bread with like 2 whole loaves and maybe a lettuce in between them. I sure wish this was smaller. Somebody comes by with a knife and slices it up, and we go. Wow! This is the greatest thing. Sucks that we can still get polio, but check out the sandwiches. All right, y'all are great. I'm Kaiser Lee. Bye.